Hi and welcome to another quick demo video from djtechdirect.com. Today I'm going to be showing you one of the principal things you need to learn when you first start taking up Ableton. Now Ableton's a fantastic piece of software for being able to create DJ mixes, for being able to perform live, making productions from scratch as well. One thing it's really good at is time warping and actually being able to take sections from tracks and rearrange them. What you do need to do, however, is make sure that they are warped correctly, and that is what I'm going to show you now. So I've just thrown a track in now onto an audio channel. We can get rid of this MIDI channel here. If I double click on the clip, which is this here, you'll see I have a rather large block of audio here. Can't see it too well, but if I zoom in, you'll be able to see it in a lot more detail. Now what I need to make sure is that the warp markers are perfectly on beat with the actual bars, the grid in here. That way I know that if I put another track in against it, it will always be perfectly in time. Now it's calculated the BPM here at 122 BPM, so 120 up here. This will actually play at the speed that is indicated here. So I mean I can change this to 122 or vice versa. Now if I zoom in at the beginning here, you'll see it's not quite on the bar. So again, it could be a little sloppy if we try to put it next to something else. By pressing play now, you'll barely hear that it's out. It seems to come in pretty much straight away. So going back again to the beginning, you'll see this little grey marker here, which is greyed out, but you can see it's kind of there. Now that's pretty much bang on that first beat. So if I go over that so it's highlighted and then control, so basically I'm right clicking, so control and click on a Mac or right click on a PC. Set 1.1.1 here. Now that will actually make it the first beat of the entire track, as it were. So you'll notice now if you look down here, this will actually skip over to that first beat there. I don't know, again I think that could be a little bit further over. So again, if I control and click here, you'll see this little orange marker come up here, so I'm going to set it from there. Probably a little bit picky there. I don't think it's going to make a massive difference, but when you've got a lot of things going on, you'll probably hear that it's just a little bit tighter. Now here, after just 2 bars, if we look at this, it's not actually a loop, but it could be set as a loop by clicking this here. I can see now that beat is coming in a little early, so I'd probably want to move that over a bit. Now you'll notice with Ableton, because anything that's in yellow is pretty much set in stone, so that is not going to move regardless of what I'm doing here. Now as for this one, I can move it back and forth. It won't affect the first beat. So again, zoom in, kind of drag that to pretty much, we can see it's the same sort of waveform as we had at the very beginning. So if I drag that to here and set that point there, just so I can kind of view it against the rest of it. Again, that's pretty much on the money, I think, there. Now you don't need to do this on every bar. That was just an example there. I mean, if I come over to bar 17, again making sure here that comes in. Again, double click it just to make it go yellow so we know it's going to stay put. I tend to go in 16, so I'm in 33. I would do it again. The main bulk of the track in the middle, I mean, if you're not really going to mix out from there, it doesn't matter so much, but you do want to check once in a while just to make sure you're not going drastically out. I mean, again, that's probably close enough for now. Now you'll see we've got a breakdown here, so when the beats come back in, I mean, I'm doing this just purely by looking. When you're starting out, you really want to be listening as well. So, now there's a crash coming in here, so it kind of blurs the waveform a bit. If I go to the bar after, I can see the kick here. And again, probably a little bit early now, so I'm going to push that back just a touch. And then again, lock that in here. As we get into the back part of the track, I mean, especially if you're doing mixed CDs or things for SoundCloud and so on, I mean, this is kind of where you're going to be mixing out. You want to make sure this is really tight, as with the beginning. So again, just moving these in. You'll notice if I press play from here, I can keep doing it continually and it will stay perfectly in time. So you'll see there, I could jump from one section of the track back to another and it's still going to be perfectly in time. So this is how important it is to make sure that your warping is right from the beginning. Because I can then drag this track across into the arrange window rather than the live section, and actually chop and change whole parts. I can take a whole section out of the track if I wanted to. So I could drag across here, remove all of that, and then suddenly the track's a lot shorter. If I wanted to repeat this breakdown, I can drag that across, have it somewhere else, and then you'll sorry, hang on. Okay, so there's a bar out on there, but you get the picture. Pretty much now that it's warped, I can mess around with it as much as I want, and it's always going to be perfectly in time. So you'll find there's so much you can do with Ableton. Anyway, I hope that's kind of given you a little insight in how to warp your tracks if you didn't know already. Everyone has their own way of doing it, so it's not set in stone. This is just the way that I would do it. Any tips from anybody else, please feel free to comment, or if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Again, this is Ableton Live 8, available from djtechdirect.com. We have Live Intro, Live 8, and also Ableton Suite 8 as well. Any questions, give me a shout.